All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin. All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. We are back again with another live stream, bringing you the latest in Chelsea news, Chelsea transfer news, Chelsea discussions, Chelsea everything live to you guys. We're going to have another fantastic live stream and lots to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. Lots to talk about. Some very, very interesting topics to touch base on. Big up to each and every one of you guys. Big up to Tariq. Big up to Techstar. Big up to Marcus. Valan, my man. How you doing? Frederick, big up to you as well, my man. Ryan is in the house. Santiago is in the house. Big up to you as well. Gremlin, big up to you, my man, as well. And NDA and many more are coming through. Feroz, big up to you as well. Let's go, even though it's 1:30 a.m. here. Wow. 1:30 a.m. Feroz, what are you doing, man? Go to bed. Jordan, big up to you, my man. Rafael Leao's in the house as well. Smash the like button, guys. As soon as you come through, I would love to see you guys just absolutely annihilate the like button. And if you're here for the first time, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content, and become a member. Become a member of the channel if you want to participate in the members call-in, which is absolutely buzzing. I think the members are loving it, being able to be heard across the community, and I'm loving it as well. To be honest, I think this has been a fantastic addition to the channel. As we've crossed 30,000, nearly 31,000 now. Curtis, big up to you as well, Miss. Love listening to you. Appreciate that, my brother. Mr. Machoka, Arsenal back factory setting. Yeah, do you know what? Before we get into talking about Enzo Fernandez, we've got quite a few topics. Enzo Fernandez, we'll talk about Raheem Sterling, we'll talk about Osimhen, Mauricio Pochettino. But before we do all of that, just a quick note in regards to Arsenal and how their form has been faltering, since the start of the Christmas period when they were top of the table to becoming fourth, and now they're out of the FA Cup as well, off the back of a loss against Liverpool at the Emirates. Obviously, they're already out of Carabao Cup. Of course, they're still in the Champions League second round, but I don't think that's going to be an easy particular match against Porto. If anything, with their current form, I think Porto might actually blitz them. So, look, what I wanted to address about that is we hear every now and then, there's some tweets from certain journalists that come out saying that our owners want to model our, project. They want to model our project off the back of what Arsenal has been doing. They really appreciate Arsenal's process and how they've taken time to, start competing. All I'm going to say is that, look, what's Arsenal achieved throughout all of this period anyway, through Arteta's reign, besides that FA Cup that Arteta won? What have they achieved? Really, they've achieved nothing. If anything, now it seems like they've gone backwards from last season. They definitely have gone backwards. And the kind of business that they've done in the likes of Kai Havertz and a few of the others, I suppose, and especially the Kai Havertz one, it looks very, very dubious. It looks very dodgy. Even the Leandro Trossard's one as well is not that great. They didn't go out there and buy themselves an out-and-out striker as well. Some of their transfers, I thank them for all the money for Kai Havertz and Jorginho, or even Jorginho. Was there a need for them to get Jorginho? Declan Rice is not looking that great in the last few matches as well. So overall, when you look at that team, yes, Martinelli, Bukayo Saka, who's been struggling as well, so is Martinelli. They looked so great last season, but no one will tell you that they were looking like world-class level. They were looking great, but they were never world-class level. And now, this season, a lot of the teams have kind of figured out what Martinelli and what Bukayo Saka is all about. So all I'm saying is we don't need to model what Arsenal's doing. There's no need to model. They've got like 5 phases. They're on the 4th phase of their 5 phases. We need to model, if we do want to model anything, we need to look at what Man City have been doing. We need to look at exactly how Liverpool were operating under Michael Edwards when Michael Edwards was the sporting director over there. So we and I've said this. I actually said at the start of this season, and I don't think it's going to happen, but I did say one of the managers that may be contended to be sacked is Mikel Arteta. I said it from the start of this season. I remember there was a tweet, I think from Sky Sports or something like that, and I said, don't be surprised if Mikel Arteta is one of those particular managers that gets sacked. So I just wanted to touch base on that initially, that this whole process, this project, all of this stuff came from Arsenal. All of these P words, process, project, patience, everything came from Arsenal. And if we want to model that, yeah, look, what have they achieved? What have they achieved? That's all I'm going to say. Now, let's get cracking into the latest news, ladies and gentlemen. Max, if you haven't followed Max on X yet, make sure you guys follow him. He is actually PYS, but he's got a secondary account called Max London's First. This is what he said late yesterday. Enzo Fernandez missed the three games against Luton, Palace, and Wolves due to a physical small injury being monitored regularly and a mental break. Enzo was happy to be profiled better against Preston. So look, very, very interesting piece of information there from Max. Few things to talk about. Number one, as Max has mentioned in that particular tweet, I'm just having a quick look. Physical, a slight physical issue that we've heard of, the hernia, and a mental break. So we have to understand, from a mental standpoint, he just needed to just relax a little bit. And we've said that, like, he's been playing every single match. He's been playing in international matches as well for Argentina. He's got a young family. He himself is very young. I think Enzo Fernandez is like 22, 23 max. Correct me if I'm wrong in the live chat, but I don't think he's older than that. And then lastly, Enzo was happy to be profiled better against Preston. This is something that we need to harp on about. This is something that we need to focus on a lot more. Profile better. How often in the last few weeks have I been saying Enzo Fernandez needs to play deeper? You remember the pass against Preston over the top for Cole Palmer, the one that Cole Palmer missed and he should have got. That's exactly where Enzo Fernandez needs to play. Predominantly, yes, there'll be times where Enzo Fernandez will go from that position, from a 6 to an 8 to a 10. He'll transition because no player is ever static. Football game, you move around. But predominantly, if you look at the heat map, Enzo Fernandez should be deeper, in my personal opinion, because that's when you can get the best out of his passing range. That's when you can get the best out of his vision. That pass he delivered for Cole Palmer that wasn't the first time he's ever done that. And that's not a coincidence that he's able to do that from a deeper position. He did that last season as well. In our abysmal season that we had last season, he was doing that for Kai Havertz. He was doing that for João Felix. He was consistently finding that ball over the top. If you guys remember, I think it might have been against Newcastle last season. That ball to Kai Havertz, was that against Newcastle? I can't really remember now. There were other matches where he's done that exact same pass and it's led to a goal. I'm pretty sure there was one for João Felix as well. Joshua saying, yeah, Havertz scored. I'm pretty sure that was against Newcastle. Dan Burn. Oh, Leicester. Maybe it was Leicester. Yes, it was Leicester. West Ham and Leicester. Yes. So, look, bottom line, Enzo was happy to be profiled better against Preston. We already know what ticks for Mauricio Pochettino in midfield. Mauricio Pochettino, it's clear as daylight. He would love to just continue to use Gallagher and Caicedo. Mauricio Pochettino in midfield likes midfielders running, covering a lot of ground. He's not interested about the technical ability in midfield. Yes, you need to have some form of passing ability, of course, but he needs, at a bare minimum, people that are physical, people that have that brute force about themselves, get stuck into tackles, cover a lot of the ground, be an engine. That is paramount for Pochettino. In recent times, we saw a tweet, I think it was PYS as well, saying that Pochettino likes that trait in a midfielder. Now, it's going to be very, very interesting. Very, very interesting moving forward. What happens? How are we actually going to play the midfield? Is it going to be a midfield three or is it going to be a double pivot? And if it's a double pivot, who's going to get selected? Gallagher is someone Pochettino simply cannot even imagine leaving out on the bench on big matches. Obviously, Preston, he was on the bench. But we've got Middlesbrough coming up in the Carabao Cup first leg semi-final. I consider that as a fairly big match, even though we are favourites and we should be going out there and winning that. No doubts about that. We should be going into the final. So I fully expect Middlesbrough, Gallagher to come back. And that game against Fulham in the Premier League. What's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen? What's going to happen? Because Enzo Fernandez, I think he's clocked it as well. That Enzo playing higher up, Enzo playing further up is difficult because he always will receive the ball with his back against the defenders. He's not going to be able to look up too often. He loves to play deeper and finding those passes behind the defense. Being further up means you're going to be closer to defenders. That's just not his game. He's not someone who's 1v1. He's going to take the players on, or he's not someone who can receive the ball, half turn, and then, drive, go for a nice drive. He's not Kovacic. He's not Mateo Kovacic. Do you know what I mean? So I think Enzo Fernandez has now realized, well, he probably already knew, but from a team's perspective, where he needs to play. But there's going to be a clash because Maurizio Pochettino does not, I don't think Maurizio Pochettino feels comfortable playing in that manner. So it'll be very interesting. It'll be very interesting what happens with Gallagher, what happens with Caicedo, what happens with Enzo Fernandez. I personally would still continue with the 4-2-3-1. I rather have another extra attacker. I really like the 4-2-3-1 setup. Gives us that extra attack, gives us that player just behind the striker. I think it's very important. Not every striker, our strikers need that player just behind. And we're going to talk about the striker situation as well. Not every striker potentially needs that, but the kind of strikers we have, they definitely need that. They definitely need someone just behind them to feed them those passes. Generally, a lot of strikers need that kind of player anyway. Sometimes in a 4-3-3, obviously you'll get the wingers helping out the striker, and you'll get the midfielders helping out the striker as well. But we don't seem to have that we don't seem to have that quality all the time. In recent times, we've seen some really good, obviously against Preston, we saw some really good crosses for Armando Broja, but we need to see that on a consistent basis. So as I said, I think this whole thing about Enzo Fernandez, watch this space, how this materializes. For me, Enzo Fernandez has got a long-term contract at Chelsea Football Club. Maurizio Pochettino will have to find a way. To fit him in. We've got Shervin in the house who's saying 100% agree with you, Miz. 4-2-3-1 is the way to go. I like the 4-2-3-1. I really do. I think it suits us a lot better, and especially the way Poch wants to press high up. I think that 4-2-3-1 really helps out. Ibrahim is saying, honestly, Poch is tactically inept, but he's improving players like Mudryk, so let's give him till the end of the season. I think he is going to get the end of the season anyway. It's just a matter of how we perform and where do we end up by the end of the season. That's what's really going to be down in terms of how we can judge him. Surat and Miz, check Poch quotes regarding Enzo on Vince's account. Okay, let's have a look at that. Let's check that out. Are these latest quotes? Here we go. Pochettino and Enzo. after he was out for 2 weeks, it is important for him to be involved and have the possibility to start. It is good. He should be an important player for us, and it's always important to recover these players. I was happy with his attitude and commitment against Preston. Ah, that's nice. Look, it definitely did bother and it did affect Enzo Fernandez. I mean, I know Enzo Fernandez had that injury, well, the hernia issue, but the fact that he was crying post match a few matches back, it kind of tells you that he wasn't enjoying being played further up. I think so. I think that the whole tears and the emotional sort of breakdown post match a few matches ago, it makes me think that yeah, he definitely wasn't appreciating the fact that how he was being deployed. So it all kind of makes sense. It all kind of makes sense. Ryan is saying, yeah, but his tactics are costing Iqbali's 100 million men in midfield. I don't see him lasting. And this, look, there's only one winner. If Pochettino is unable to, get Enzo Fernandez involved on a regular basis, get him integrated into the team, then yeah, there's only one winner. Pochettino is going to get the sack. There's no doubt about that. Okay, that's a little bit about that particular news. We got Valen saying Poch waffles more than. Oh man, Valen does not like Poch, and he absolutely dislikes the fact that Matisse has gone for him. All right, next up, ladies and gentlemen, Pochettino has emphasized what he believes the need for more physical players, also Premier League proven players. Look, Poch is big on this, guys. He's huge on this. Everywhere I see any tweets from journalists or anything like that, physical players, need for more physical players. He loves it. He absolutely loves it. And we need to start understanding it. Also, Premier League proven players. Unclear what club will do this window, but thought to still be looking at CB and fullback and also discussing striker. Look, honestly, I don't think we need to be worried about these two factors now. We can probably look into that in the summer. If we can get a striker this window, fantastic. Top quality striker, that is. And if we can't do that, honestly, just close the window for us already. Just close it. Don't do any business. Do business in the summer. If we can't get quality through, then do business in the summer. It's simple as that. Most at the club want Osimhen. This is great. So, look, club wants Osimhen. Recently, apparently, Didier Drogba has spoken to Osimhen as well. John Obi Mikel is all over the Osimhen factor. Look, I think this is looking like it's quite possible. Mbappe, the big news, ladies and gentlemen, Mbappe quite possibly going to Real Madrid. Now, that may open up a bit of space for PSG to go for a striker. I don't know. Although Mbappe doesn't always play as an out-and-out striker. He plays someone who from the left side cutting in. But you never know. You never know. PSG might be looking for a player like that. Man United have already got a striker with Højlund. I can't imagine them going for another, striker like Osimhen. Arsenal obviously looking for a striker, but whether they go for Tony, are they going to be in the mix for Osimhen? Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? Summer, if Osimhen is available in the summer and there are still clubs who are looking to get strikers, I think it might get very, very tasty. But I feel Osimhen will favor us. I don't know why. I think African players, they do like the heritage, obviously, that Chelsea Football Club has created, based on African players as well. So Osimhen, look, this is why it's very important, ladies and gentlemen, that we finish a lot higher than where we are now. We try and win some silverware this year, this season, so that there is something for Osimhen to look forward to by coming to Chelsea Football Club. But I'm starting to think the club is cooking something in regards to Victor Osimhen. And as you can see here, most at the club want Osimhen as well. So I think from that perspective, the club will try their level best to do everything possible. Osimhen pursuit would mean Chelsea may look to add an attacker that can play striker, but also other positions. Some though have suggested we'll do nothing and wait till summer. Look, do you know what? I'm absolutely fine with that. Absolutely fine with that. I'd rather us not bring in any Mickey Mouse players in this window. Honestly, I'd rather us not bring any Mickey Mouse players. We've got enough potentials for the future. We don't need more potentials. Look for absolute qualities that can come in and make a vast difference to the team. Vast difference. So if there's no one in that profile, then forget it. Poch doesn't want CFC board to panic with recruitment. I love it. I love it. These are some things that I can actually appreciate about Poch. That he's not about panic when it comes to transfer market, which is good to see. Nusa, Olise, and Marcus Edwards are three names the club like for the future windows. Look, Antonio Nusa, I think that's his name, the brother from Club Bruges, another potential. Look, I know he's a talented player as well, but I feel like Olise, like if we're going to go for a particular winger, someone who can play as a central attacking midfielder as well, I think we should go for Olise if that's the case. If we are looking for someone, Marcus Edwards is someone I've watched now a few seasons at Sporting Lisbon. He's actually a very, very good player. But Olise is the standout if we have to go for someone Premier League proven as well. And he's absolutely killing it at the moment. Where Sterling could leave to free up a wage bill. So check this out. Nusa, Olise, Marcus Edwards are three names the club like for future windows where Sterling could leave to free up wage bill more. Summer 2025 was mooted to me for that potentially. So look, Raheem Sterling, ladies and gentlemen, is the name that's getting floated around. And look, I'm not even surprised. I'm absolutely not surprised. I like Raheem Sterling a lot, man. I really do. As I said in the last watch along, every time Raheem Sterling scores, my heart fills with joy, man. I like the player a lot. But I also understand that he's highly, highly inconsistent. I'm not even thinking, obviously one of our very, very good members of the channel, Abdul Razak, he got really annoyed the last time I said this. If we should be looking at parting ways with Sterling at the end of the season if the inconsistency continues. And he was saying that surround Sterling with quality players and you'll see a lot more consistency. Do you know what? I don't even think it's about the quality players anymore with Sterling. Like Sterling could have abundance of quality players around him, but he will still be inconsistent. I think that is the bottom line in regards to Raheem Sterling. He's just incapable of making the right decisions all the time, or most of the times. Yes, I do agree that some of the times where Raheem Sterling should have got assists because his teammates have let him down, other teammates probably would have got those assists, would have made sure that Raheem Sterling would have got those assists. But overall, I think Raheem Sterling is just the caliber of player he is. He should be doing a lot better. He should be performing a lot more consistently as opposed to showing up once every 4 or 5 games for Chelsea Football Club. So completely understand if Chelsea Football Club wants to part ways. He's on high wages as well. And that's going to be very important for Chelsea Football Club to free up that particular wage structure. We've actually got rid of so much wages, so much from last summer. The players that we got rid of, that opened up a lot of wages for us, which has allowed us to be in a better financial state in terms of financial fair play. So I think from that perspective as well, Raheem Sterling makes absolute sense. Now, look, if Raheem Sterling from here on till the end of the season becomes unstoppable and just scores left, right, and center, assists left, right, and center, and his work rate is immense, by no means don't let him go. Then keep him. This is why the caveat for Pochettino, the caveat for Raheem Sterling is, we got to check them out till the end of the season. And if they still continue to be inconsistent, then I'm sorry, they will have to go. Feroz is saying, yep, the first window with the new owners was pretty bad in terms of our wage structure. Absolutely, man, absolutely. We, the new owners, they didn't know anything about football. They still lack a lot of football knowledge, but obviously they've been a bit better than last season. Last season, I think they just went a bit absolutely crazy. Milo K saying, no, Miz, he's been this way at City. He misses a lot. He just had more chances to him That's why I never wanted him. No, good point. Good point. He actually had that kind of stuff at Man City as well. Rafael, Jordan Henderson, thoughts? I take him as a squad player for experience. By the way, where is this link coming from? I see this popping up. Like I saw Eunice did a video on this. Where has this link come up? Like when did Jordan Henderson to Chelsea become a thing? Is this even legit? I know there's some talks about Jordan Henderson not really enjoying it in Saudi Arabia, and he wants to leave. But how did Chelsea get into this mix of it? Like, I'm not even sure. I've not seen a single legitimate journalist talk about this, so I'm not sure how this has happened. So yeah, this is why I've not even entertained it. Like, I mean, if we're going to just pull any player, might as well, like, we can just do news on anything then. Pochettino believes Chelsea lack physicality at fullback and in set pieces. I don't know about, this whole physicality thing, man. Lacks physicality in fullback and lacks physicality in fullback and set pieces. I'm not really sure whether it's physicality that's screwing us up in set pieces or crosses. It's literally the defensive structure. We're not conceding goals because we're getting bamboozled off the ball. No. This whole physicality thing, another thing, I'm not sure whether this is Pochettino actually saying these things or is it the journalists that are just finding an opportunity to start a new narrative, to start a new agenda. This physicality, if you look at all the goals we conceded, honestly, if you look at all the goals we conceded, very few you'd say that, the defender got done there. The defender got done physically by the opposition player. Very few. Very few. Mostly, it's when we're not marking the player. Most of the times, we are nowhere near the player. And the opposition player gets an open opportunity for a header, gets an open opportunity for a shot. I don't think it's about the physicality. I honestly think it's about the defensive structure. Who's marking who? Communication. You can clearly see the lack of structure in our game. And this is something that I said start of this particular year, right? 2024, I said the second half of the season, we've got to be a lot better. We have to rectify the issues that we had last year. We need to fix that. I need to see a far resolute defense. Our defense is very flimsy. Very, very flimsy. Yeah. Rafael, you're right. Sack him. This physicality thing is nonsense. He's tactically lost and he's trying to cover. If anything, I think physically we match up. If anything, most Premier League games, I think physically we actually match up, You look at the players like Desassi, you look at players like, Buddy Shield, even Thiago Silva, he's no mug physically. You look at Gallagher, he's brute. Caicedo is no, some sort of a physical, he's not physically inept. Okay, you may say, all right, Enzo Fernandez is maybe not, a brute force of nature, no problems. But I don't think physically we are getting done. Even Colwell, Colwell is not someone that gets done physically. Colwell gets done because he's very, very careless at times in defense. He's not always aware. His awareness, this is because he's his left back. But even in the last game as a CB, he wasn't that great. Maybe the left back game has kind of affected him. It's not the physicality, man. It really isn't about physicality. Aka, do you feel confident when the other team take a corner or set piece against us? No, I don't. I don't feel confident, but it's not because of physicality that I don't feel confident. I think our players can match physically. I'm more nervous when opposition have a set piece against us because we don't have a good structure. We're not going to be marking everyone. That's what I'm worried about. Akaka, no, we don't. You're misremembering games. Newcastle ran the midfield against Newcastle, man. Come on. that this team is weak mentally and physically. It's so obvious to me. Yeah, I'm not sure about physically, man. I don't agree with you about physically. Mentally, you can say, yeah, mentally we switch off, of course. But physically, I mean, are we getting done physically? Ladies and gentlemen, let me know. Be honest about it in the live chat before we wrap things up. We've got nearly 300 people live. Smash the like button. This is an interesting topic to talk about. Honest conversations in the comment section. Please let me know. Is it physically that we are getting outdone by the opposition? I've not seen us get physically outdone, you know. Milo K, you placed a silly tactics that exposes your backline all the time and blame it on physicality and height. How many chances have we considered this season because of it? Honestly, I can't think of too many that we've lost because of physicality. Doesn't make sense to me. It took Tuchel 6 months to win the Champions League, 13 months to win three trophies. Okay. Some people are having a go at each other in the live chat. Always love to see that. Colwell avoids getting stuck in and getting to aerial balls first. That brother has commitment issues. Look, he does backtrack, but that's not because he's physically inept. Like, Colwell is not a lightweight. That's Colwell. Someone needs to guide him and say, brother, you need to engage. You need to engage. You can't just keep backtracking all the time. Because Enzo gave almost 3 to 4 great long balls. If only we had a better attacker up front, he would have at least 1 to 2 assists. I absolutely agree. Caicedo and Enzo are weak. Caicedo's weak. Oh, wow. Wow. Is that what we think? I wouldn't even say Enzo's weak. I think Enzo, he can read the game well. His interceptions are great. You know, it's not like Enzo gets bundled over. Does Enzo have the pace? Okay, no problems. He probably doesn't have the pace all the time. But physical, are we saying Enzo is a lightweight? Okay, fine. You can say Enzo is a lightweight. But Caicedo, we are actually saying Caicedo. Caicedo's weak. Oh my God. Rafael, no, it's clearly not. We physically matched City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Luton, and more. Yeah. The best example is the goal versus Palace. Colwell left the fullback position to win the ball when Benoit should have left position, missed the header. Lise got the ball, boom, goal. Yeah, that's nothing to do with physicality. I'm telling you right now. Physicality doesn't mean strength. It means speed, power, jumping ability. We are so weak, so weak. Okay, well, speed is something I can allow. Power, jumping ability. Our players can't jump. I mean, okay, fine. Aka, I just saw what you say. Physicality isn't just strength. No problems. Okay. You're talking about pace, power. We lack the power. Are we being serious? Jumping ability. So what does that mean? What does that mean then? Like get rid of all of these players? Which players, Aka, tell me honestly, which players in your sense lack physicality? Like not just strength, pace, power, jumping ability. Tell me, because I'm a bit confused now. Well, how many players? Is it just one? If it's one, then that shouldn't be a problem. How many players are lacking this? I need to know numbers. Because this is mad. Like, I can't accept this. I really cannot accept this. We are going to be out here talking down on play. Look, I'm someone who's highly critical on players. Highly critical on players. But to throw them under the bus when the manager lacks a lot of tactical sense, and we want to blame that on physicality, that's a mad scapegoat, you know. That's a mad scapegoat. Mad scapegoat, man. It's clear to see the manager is not a very tactical manager. It's very clear to see. Milo, okay, that's not true. Physicality in football only matters in ability to win duels when contested. And people tell me when we talk about Caicedo, people always throw the whole, duels won. Caicedo's always very high on Jules 1. So what's going on? Does he win the Jules or doesn't he win the Jules? Valan, we lack physicality because Poch's tactics are over relying on physicality and very little technical ability. Yeah, man. I mean, I think our midfield is built to play pretty football, but it's not strong. That's why Gallagher plays, because he does the hard work. Enzo won't do. This I agree with, but you've only mentioned one player here. You've only mentioned Enzo Fernandez. This I agree. Poch likes to play with Gallagher and Caicedo because they are more physical. Pace, power, all the things that you mentioned, strength. But that's one player. That's one player out of the entire playing squad. Surely we don't feel that about everyone else. No one in our defense should lack physicality. No one. Like our defenders are strong. Our defenders are strong, and they're not getting done because of their lack of physicality. They're getting done because the lack of structure in defense. Simple as. That's how I think about it. Let's take a few more comments before we wrap things up. Smash up the like button, guys. Joshua, a simple pass breaking through our midfield straight to the opposition striker is not because of lack of physicality, but weak tactical positioning. Yes, I agree with that. Aki, these players are capable to win the league. We need a good manager. Caicedo, Enzo, or the midfield in general are not given instructions. You can look at that at heat map. Yep, agreed. We've got Mustafa saying there's no use blaming Poch. He's an elite, but these owners won't get the elite managers because they come with their own mind. Poch is the best available, in my opinion. Fair enough. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap things up. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe. Hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. I'll see you guys later tonight, wrapping up the day's news. And I'm very, very keen to see how Man United does against Wigan in the FA Cup as well. Hopefully they get knocked out as well. Until then, everyone, take care and see ya. Bye.